Welcome to the Between Two Wheels live stream, bringing you the okayest motorcycle content during this pandemic. I'm your host, Johnny Roadblock, and joining me in the virtual studio, we have Justin, my secret keeping game is on point bird, and Uncle, my puppies will bankrupt me Ken. This episode is being brought to you by Get Lowered Cycles, one of the few online retailers Roadblock doesn't bitch about, and meetupmoto.com, the newest social media platform for bikers by bikers. Oh, on today's stream, we will be discussing our picks for the best hybrid motorcycles. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
What's up?
Okay, so let me just show everyone. Oh, you got it to work. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm already getting grief from my slideshow. So you guys doing all right?
Yeah, I'm living the dream.
Okay, good.
Nightmares are dreams too.
All right, so I want to talk about something before we jump into our topic for the night. Yesterday, a video came out on Matt Laidlaw's channel, and it was talking about some of the upcoming changes that were happening and being put out there from Harley-Davidson. Now, I took this screenshot shortly before we started here, so 5:57 p.m. on the Central Time Zone. The video is no longer here, but that's okay, because I have all the notes from it. So let's talk about this for a second.
All right.
May 12th, I watched this video, and yet this morning it's no longer there, blah, blah, blah. Already went through that. According to Matt Laidlaw's video, Harley-Davidson put out that the CVO models production for 2020 has ceased. What is on the showroom floors is all that will be produced. Interesting, huh? Softail Deluxe discontinued. FXDR discontinued. Breakout discontinued. Bronx and Pan America delayed until Q1 2021, which, by the way, we did mention this last week when I brought it up on the website. They had already changed that, so that wasn't exactly new. Okay, so RDRS will not be an option on base touring bikes, so the Road Glide, the Street Glide, and the Road King. But it will be standard on all the touring specials and limiteds for the remainder of this year. And yes, it's standard, and yes, you still have to pay for it. The touchscreen display for the touring bikes, it's no longer an option. It is now going on to all models. So smaller radio with the physical buttons is being discontinued. Now, from what Matt was putting out in his video, he was saying that if you have a reason that you have to have the physical buttons, you can have a custom made sold vehicle, something or other done through your dealership. So there's that. Decreasing the paint options. Now, I didn't catch if this was model specific or across the entire range of models, but they were going to decrease the number of paint options available. Now, I couldn't find any of this information anywhere else. I looked on Harley's website. Mr. Connor Hicks, he's the one who brought it to my attention yesterday, because I don't personally watch Matt Laidlaw's channel.
Because he's boring as fuck.
There you go. So it's one of those things where the guy is in the know. His dad owns the dealership or something like that. So, it's good information, but I couldn't find it anywhere else. And then when I go back today to check the video to get that information around the paint, it was pulled. So I'm thinking Mr. Matt Laidlaw got his uh, Peter slapped hard by the motor company. Just my 2 cents.
Oh yeah, he most likely did. I think I don't fucking understand like why they would. Okay, I do understand. It's all about money. Is taking the RDRS off all the touring bikes. I mean,
So something that Matt had put out in the video was he was saying this wasn't really a big deal for him. He ordered the majority of the touring bikes with the RDRS. So okay, yeah, that is the issue for him. Yeah, something.
and then paint. I don't give a fuck about paint. They never have good colors, really. I mean, or if they do, they're only on the chrome models or only on the blacked out models, and never when I'm fucking buying. Because I can't buy 2 or 3 bikes a year like you.
Here comes an explanation on how he's only bought 5 bikes in the last 4 years.
I was going to leave it alone altogether.
I see it as being more of like a, let's be honest, RDRS is probably a complicated piece of hardware that probably came from overseas that probably got delayed. So they probably don't have enough to go around. That's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be. There obviously has to be a reason that we don't know about. See, Mick knows.
Mix. What a dick. Anyways, I mean, look, I get the whole RDRS thing. Just they don't want to have something else going on the assembly line, right? If it's something that it's standard, everything on this line's getting it, that makes it so much easier. The CVO models, I find this one interesting because now they just created a very unique situation for the buyers of
Oh,
CVO
yeah.
models. Because
Oh, yeah.
now all the buyers for 2020 models are going to get hosed. I guarantee right now all of those prices are going to be skyrocketing because it's now a limited supply.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. I see where you're going with it now.
I mean, if Matt Laidlaw's video was accurate, they're not producing any more for this year. For
Well, and
this
see,
year.
yeah, just for this year. But I mean, the CVO was always supposed to have been a limited model, anyways. It really wasn't though. I mean, it was only limited by the people who could pay for it, the buyer. I mean, you walk into any Harley dealership and they've got CVOs on the floor. You can buy it right off the showroom floor. Don't even have to fucking order it. Don't have to be on a waiting list. I mean, Toyota with the Tundra, the TRD model.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go on a waiting list for that to get one.
Not in San Antonio, you don't, but most places you do.
I mean, but still, I mean, most places, if you want the Tundra TRD Pro, whatever, you go on a waiting list and you have to put money down.
Well, I don't know. I think where we are in kind of the areas that we would be shopping, we're lucky that we do have CVOs. But there's some shops out there that never get a CVO. So,
Well, true, and it all depends on their location.
right.
I mean, like the Amarillo Trips Harley Davidson, I doubt they have a CVO on their floor.
I would think they'd be doing better than that with all the oil that's going on out there.
Amarillo's not really an oil town.
It's more
That's true.
farming.
It's
Yeah.
farm and ranch. But I mean, the CVO that doesn't affect me one way or the other.
Let's see. The touchscreens that's just simplifying their supply chain. I get that. The Bronx
Yeah,
and Pan America being delayed, I get that one too. They can't really
yeah.
get a good hype going for this year. And it gives them a big launch for the new model release time frame. So the Softail Deluxe, that's sad because it's such an awesome motorcycle for them to discontinue. Now, I'm wondering if it's going to be discontinued moving forward or if it's just they're done with it for this year.
I have I have the feeling that a lot of it is just done for this year. Just because, let's be honest, this first quarter has fucking sucked.
Oh, has it? I haven't noticed.
I mean, just all around. Like I should be going to dinner with my friends at least once a month. This is obscene.
Well, all right. So let's jump into the actual topic for the evening: hybrid motorcycles. And let me define this because I think people got confused.
You mean you clickbaited people?
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
You did clickbait people with that.
So, the perfect motorcycle for urban riding environments, so bar hoppers, commuters, that can also put down some mild touring miles, so like 300 to 400 mile trips. So, here's what I did. I asked the guys to pick two models, and at least one of them had to be a non Harley because there's just too many Softail options to go with, so that'd be boring. So, a non Harley and brand new had to be under $20,000. So, we just now, well, I'm the only one who's seen all six picks. I'll tell you what, I was shocked. And in a good way. So
Did any of us pick the same thing?
no. Well,
No?
yes and no, because Justin cheated on one.
How did I cheat?
I'll show you. Anyways,
Was
Uncle
price too
Ken,
high?
let's start with you.
All right, so I picked two, but I went for the top and the bottom. So for the high end, we have the 2020 Indian Chief Dark Horse, and obviously that's top end. So at MSRP of 18,500.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I made my $20,000 mark. So it has 111 cubic inch, 119 foot pounds of torque, 73 horsepower. Of course, those are all just what the internet will tell you. 6-speed transmission, 770 pounds curb weight, 5.5 gallon tank, 40 miles per gallon. It has a 26-inch seat height for you short people. Some people like that. Thanks, Mick. You're right. It is Native American. And it comes standard with ABS, cruise, keyless ignition, and there's plenty of aftermarket accessories for it. But it comes in one color and one color only, and that's black.
All right. Justin, thoughts?
This was on my list. The reason it didn't make it is I just didn't feel like it. I feel like there was other bikes that satisfied the around town portion better than the Dark Horse.
Fair enough. I like it because I think it would be different at most bars, most biker bars. You roll up on that, you're the oddball, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And those things ride like a mother.
Oh, yeah. The suspension's great. They all have Fox suspension on them.
Yeah.
I should have added that. Well, there it is. But yeah, I mean, and they're just a great bike. And they have a lot of potential. There's plenty of accessories that you can buy: bars, pipes. You can get bags for it and other shit.
Yeah.
Windshield. So there's a lot of room for personalization and whatnot if you decide to really start putting on the miles.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's jump to Justin.
All right, so I picked the Kawasaki Vulcan 900. I chose this as my first one because it MSRPs at under $8,000. At least this one does. I have 2016 stats pulled up, so this might be a little bit off, but definitely lower on the price end. So it's cheap, but it's got a 5.3 gallon tank, so it's definitely going to be able to cruise the miles for a while. It's not a high powered bike by any means, but it's also pretty light. Curb weight's on it's only 620 pounds, so that puts it in the lower end soft tail spectrum. And it just overall decent bike. I felt like it really fit the it can do both categories.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of the Softail Deluxe
It's a classic looking motorcycle.
Yeah.
with the white walls and everything. I like the look
I
of
really
it.
like the white walls.
I felt like they kept the classic look without overdoing it or trying to make it look either too old or too new. They just,
Yeah.
it's not trying to hide anything. It's just there.
Yeah.
I like the fins. They did the contrast cut on those fins, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, okay, yes, it looks a lot like a Harley, but it's kind of the perfect style. It doesn't matter what brand is on it. That's an American motorcycle. And
Yep.
yes, I get the irony behind that, but they definitely styled that right.
Yeah, and I like the spoke wheels. I really like spoke wheels. I don't like having to take care of spoked wheels.
Yeah.
I don't like having to run tubes.
With that either, because with tubes, if you get a flat, you're fucked.
Yep.
You just plain and simple.
Only slightly. All right. So my first bike, I went with the 2020 Triumph Bonneville Speedmaster.
I nearly picked that one.
Now, this one is one I did up in their customizer, so this is just whatever Triumph had. But it's 1200 cc, 77 horsepower, 78 foot-pounds of torque. Price tag's $13,150 starting, but as pictured, $19,850.
Of course, you squeak in there.
You're saying you're going to do 400 miles on a Sportster with a Triumph badge?
I'm just saying. So I researched both of the bikes that I chose. I did watch a few reviews on this, and they all said the way that suspension is set up, it will go the miles. I'm betting it's probably about as comfortable as a dyno would be.
I'm leaning more towards the Scout.
Yeah.
But it has a very similar suspension setup to the Softail. So I don't know. I'd be curious to see. I'm going to add this to my 2020 post-pandemic go out and ride schedule.
Thank you, Armando. That's really great. And it's accurate. You going to click that up there, Roadblock? Yeah. Yeah, boy.
That's so true, man.
And for those for those who can't see this, it says, even though he built that bike himself, Roadblock will ride it home and immediately begin looking for new bars. It's funny because it's true.
I can't be mad at him.
And then he tried to sell the old bars for $5 less than what he paid for them.
Yes.
Oh,
fuck.
All right.
That's accurate.
Here's the next one. Uncle Ken.
Back to me. So I picked the 2020 Honda Shadow Phantom. MSRP is $8,300. It has a 745cc liquid-cooled engine. From what I could find, it has about 47 torque and 47 horsepower. It's only a 5-speed. It's shaft driven, 550-pound curb weight, 3.7-gallon tank with 56 miles per gallon. So that's pretty good. It has a 28-inch seat height, and it comes in two colors. You have black and white, and that's pretty much all there is for that bike. I'm sure you can change out the bars somewhere, but at the moment, Honda does not offer any accessories for it. No.
So wait, if I heard you right, is that 1 horsepower for every 10 pounds of weight, roughly?
Yes.
Damn. Okay.
I looked at this one. The only reason I didn't pick it is because it was shaft driven, and they just feel weird. They don't feel right to me.
See, and I've only ridden one that was shaft driven. That was that Moto Guzzi, and I mean, I really couldn't tell any difference. I didn't have enough seat time.
Yeah. I rode Brad's because he had a Honda Shadow 700 or something like that.
Oh, that's right.
And I rode his around, and it just felt off.
It may have been because it was a 700 too.
Well,
That's true. Well, not really, because I mean, the way that the bike responds off throttle, it felt weird.
I've ridden a couple shaft-driven bikes, and actually, I chose one. My last one's a shaft-driven, but I kind of like it. I like that kind of instantaneous kick that you get with it. But
I mean, it's a simple bike. There's less maintenance for the shaft drive.
Yeah.
At least for that part of it. I don't know. It looks like it's a classic looking motorcycle. Like if that was to fly past you on the highway, you wouldn't know it from a Harley or a Honda. Unless obviously you're that much into motorcycles. But the average person just cruising down the street, they would see it and just think it's a Harley.
I love how extremely subdued Honda is with their badging. I see it twice. Right here. And right here.
It's because they want it to look like a D-badged Harley.
Oh, that's hilarious.
A lot of the Japanese manufacturers do that.
Oh, of course.
So Austin says the Phantom's been out for a while. There's plenty of accessories. Well, the Honda page didn't offer any for me.
It's probably because it's the 2020, but I don't think they changed anything from the previous year, so I'm sure most of their stuff still fits. Honda's usually pretty good about cross-fitting across models too.
Yeah.
Not as good as KTM though. Goddamn. It's so hard to find parts for KTM because, usually you have to look up your year or whatever, but it'll have year 2014 through 2020, and then it looks like a VIN number after that. Just SX, SX, EXCW, AXC, XCW, and then just a bunch of numbers. Because they pretty much just swap out motors, and that's it.
All right. So, Justin, this is the one you cheated on.
How?
It was $215
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope.
Oh,
I have it right now. I have it on my screen right now.
All right. So let's pull this up.
I misspelled Diavo, but don't make fun of me. 19195. Suck my dick. It's $800 under.
Okay. Okay.
Fuck tax.
Oh, I mean, I definitely didn't add in tax.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
And I mean, come on, my first bike was $7,000. Give me a break. So of course the Ducati Diavel, top speed of 169 miles per hour, seat height around the 30 to 31 inch range, curb weight 537 pounds wet. So it's the lightest one, or much lighter than the other one, and 162 horsepower at, I believe, 97 foot-pounds, something around there, 93 foot-pounds. It has cornering ABS, riding modes, dual traction control, and I think it's the best-looking bike on the list.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's
probably
another
yeah.
one that I think would definitely turn heads at the bar for
And they
sure.
sound fucking great.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this was the one I was hoping was good to go, but when I looked at their website, it was a no go. But
go back to my screen real quick. Take a look at that dash, man. Look how sexy that is.
Mm,
Look at the buttons.
yeah,
Like that is just so
yeah.
clean.
no, for sure, 100%.
And I actually really like that gray with the brown. I think it works really well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd ride that bike.
no, for sure.
I mean, you think that'd be good for a 400-mile trip?
I think so. Reason being is look at the rider triangle on it.
Okay, see, that's much different than.
Now, granted, it'd be a little bit different with someone like me or you or Roadblock, but it's pretty upright.
So it's more sport touring.
It
The
is, yeah.
seating is more sport touring. Because just looking at the bike without a rider on it, I
Yeah.
immediately see sport bike, and it does, that kills it for me.
God, look at the wheels.
I love the single sided swing arm.
Yep. Ducati does it better than anyone else too.
Back in the chopper days, man, I loved seeing that when they just the dual tubes coming out from one side, and that was the swing arm. Oh, I love that shit.
I'm trying to find the here's some more specs here. I'm trying to find the tank size. I think that'd be the only thing that would kill it in this category.
What's
Probably
that?
a 4 gallon.
The tank size. 4.75. Never mind. That'll
No,
do.
that's decent.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably gets 40 miles to the gallon.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great bike.
Has a launch control, cruise control, backlit handlebar switches. That's pretty dope.
I considered when I got my new bike, I considered the backlit switches. Then realized I don't ride that fucking much at night. So
No. And they come with Pirelli tires. That right there is expensive.
yeah, that's $1,000.
You definitely can see where your money's going.
Oh yeah, you're not getting cheaped anywhere.
No, that's a good looking bike. It's definitely sexy.
Brandon says there's a lot of touring type. I'm guessing mods you can do to the Diavel also. Yeah, he corrected it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean it's been out long enough now that I think all the major quirks have been worked out of it, and it's a good bike.
I almost picked the MT, like the MT9 for this, but I didn't know if we were allowed to do modifications. Because I feel like with just a little bit of modifications, that'd be a great all-around bike.
Okay,
Ooh.
so Mick's asking, but what's the insurance on that bike?
Depends on the owner.
Yeah,
Depends on the owner. I mean, they're really going to just $19,000 bike. I mean, that's probably going to be around. Guessing it's probably going to be around the same as one of our touring bikes because it probably has a higher accident rate.
yeah.
Hmm.
You throw that Ducati name on there, and they're like, "Oh, that's a super fast bike. You're gonna die."
Yeah, repair costs are going to be higher because it's a European model. But yeah, I wouldn't expect it to be completely outlandish.
Yeah, I mean, just looking through there's tons of bikes out there that you can cruise on.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, this one you could go and tear it up, especially in like the hill country,
Oh yeah,
and still be comfortable. I think hopping around, downtown San Antonio around the Riverwalk, rev bombing through all the buildings.
Well, Mick, this isn't the best hybrid bikes for younger riders. I don't care about those broke motherfuckers. Go get a job.
Get 2 jobs.
Or start taking pictures of your feet and selling it on Reddit. I don't care. Okay.
Yes. And if anybody wants pictures of my sheet or my feet,
sheets.
yeah, my sheet.
That's way down there.
I got plenty of sheets. I'll take pictures of my feet on my sheets, and they're $5 a picture.
Why I'm shaking my head is there is someone on this planet that would pay for that picture. That's what pisses me off the most.
It's true.
Okay, if you want to see that picture, folks,
It's
go
going
to
to
the
cost
Between
$5.
Two Wheels website, go to the donation page, and make a donation.
$5.
And
$5
that's gotta be against some sort of code in our 501c3 agreement.
Yeah.
There's got to be something about Uncle Ken's sheet pics.
My sheet
Nope.
feet.
Nope. I wrote it. There's nothing in there about that. I mean, typically Uncle Ken is an exclusion from everything, but no, nothing about him and his sheets. Oh, Motorcycle Mix wants your ASMR food night again.
Oh man, that pizza was so good. The wife cooked steak tonight and it was delicious.
Oh yeah.
It was like a nice 15-ounce ribeye, and I was like, there ain't no way I'm finishing it. I ate every single damn bite, man. There goes that steak quesadilla for tomorrow. Future Justin can worry about that.
All right, so here's my pick. The 2020 Suzuki Boulevard M109R Boss.
I thought that was a freaking V-Rod at first.
Oh my god. Can Suzuki make a good looking bike? Or are they just physically incapable of that?
So here's the thing. This is like a pug. It's so ugly, it's cute.
Just said bam.
But I like the bike. I think it's because it's an oddball. But let me go through some of the specs. Now there's some issues, but it's a 1783 cc or 109 cubic inch motor. Boss, by the way, stands for Blacked Out Special Suzuki. I shit you not. Wow. I looked it up.
How fucking unoriginal.
Yeah. But
wow.
The bike only has a 5-speed transmission, though everything I was reading in the reviews, the gears are pretty high up on the 5th gear. So allegedly you get pretty plush ride at highway speeds. And it is shaft driven. The numbers for this are actually pretty fucking decent. But I just like the style of the bike. Definitely would have to get rid of those tailpipes, but I like the style.
And the bars.
Well, duh.
Yeah, don't lie. Gotta be the bars.
No, the bars have to go.
That's looking cool. That's nice.
Oh, I didn't say the price, did I? Price is 15,100.
Okay. I feel like I could get, a better bike for that price.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, and it really looks like a ripoff of the V-Rod. Oh, Moto Mick. Yeah, girl. I ride my Suzuki Boss. I'll join your feminist movement.
Don't forget their Mother's Day gift.
Oh, my God. Oh, fucking A. One more down. One to the 1200 cycle. That one. Yes. XR 1200 Kyle. LOL.
That's awesome.
Bousavard.
Cruising down the Bousavard.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Oh, Steve, are y'all able to upload the audio to the podcast? I am trying that, unfortunately, because we are going over the interwebs. It gets compressed pretty bad. I will post the last 3 episodes into the podcast feed this week. So there you go, bud. Looks like a victory hammer. Shit, yeah. Look, I mean,
Am I missing something?
Victory hammer.
Yeah, I'm all fucking typing on it. Okay.
I don't know.
I mean,
Brandon's asking, did this bike came out before the V-Rod, didn't it?
Everyone get your Google machines out.
Yeah. Honestly, though, when we looked at the bikes that held their value,
they really don't.
It's one of those. They keep up with cars for these. I mean, outside of the Street Bob, nothing held its value like that thing did.
Yeah.
Check out that dope ass train he's got on his default picture though.
Yeah.
That's a bad motherfucker right there.
Choo choo. Is that the Black Knight Dark Horse train, Justin?
I'm not sure which one it is. It's one of the later model ones though. I can tell you that much. Things could probably go over 100 miles an hour. That's terrifying to think of. That much metal going that fast.
I mean, fuck, bullet trains are doing what, 120?
Yeah, but they also probably weigh a tenth of that amount, and they can stop on a dime.
Yeah, bullet trains are probably made out of a lot of aluminum.
Those old steam engines were a lot of steel and iron and 2 crazy white boys shoveling coal. And that's about it.
With just enough knowledge on not how to kill themselves.
Usually.
You see this dial? Don't let it get up here.
Yeah.
All right, get to work, boys.
Pretty much.
Oh. So, this weekend, since your plans got changed, Justin, I think we should do a windshield shootout video.
Oh, you do, huh?
Yeah. Would you be down?
I'll have to look at my schedule.
I'm pretty busy on Saturday.
Shit.
Yeah, he's cooking briskets. So
Kind of cooking a whole lot of meat. Where do you think I got these big boys from?
Oh, shit.
This right here? Neighbor's cat. Yeah.
So you're not quite sure if he's lying or not. You never quite know.
Oh, so for the windshield shootout, whenever we can actually coordinate it right, Hasso and Team Bradley both agreed that since we would want a shorter person's opinion, someone who's a lot closer to the average height of a male, or in this case, both male and female, that they would ride my motorcycle and get that feeling. So Hasso is going to ride as the man. Team Bradley is going to ride as the woman on the back. So he'll also be able to test out how awesome the tour pack is and how that seat is. So he'll be the first bitch on that seat.
He's gonna fucking drop it. I'm saying it, calling it right now. He's gonna fucking drop that shit.
We'll get some landing gear.
Put some training wheels on it.
I mean, the content alone.
Did you say tranny wheels?
Yeah.
Tranny wheels?
Yeah.
Train. Well,
They're not quite wheels.
whatever touches the ground first, I guess.
Oh, yes, Mick. Do the bikes get trailered to the windshield handlebar shootout?
We gotta have a place to stage, right?
Yeah.
Hasso said if he drops it, Roadblock will trade it in. Yep.
I'll tell you what, if you want to do a shootout
Yeah.
this weekend, you just have to come to my house.
Not as scenic of a route, but
What are you talking about? Silo Vista's like 0.2 miles from his house.
ooh, we could do that, couldn't we?
And then take I-10 back. That way you get side like twisties and interstate.
There you go.
Oh, why do you suck at this, Roadblock?
Hey, we just barely creeped over 1,000 subscribers. Okay, I'm
Well,
not big YouTube famous
it's-
like you.
I mean, you've probably gained more in the past 3 days than I have. I haven't uploaded in 2 weeks, man.
No,
And then I'm sitting here relying on the race video for this weekend, and then boom, race gets delayed. So
Fuck you.
So Brian is asking, do you guys think the flip windshields do make a difference? I need to get a taller windshield for my Heritage, and I'm trying to decide between a taller HD one and a Clockworks with the flip.
definitely go with the flip.
Oh,
You can
get
get
the-
about
get
2 to
flip.
3 inches lower with the flip.
Yeah, and I run the Memphis Shades. So I'm 6'4". I run the Memphis Shades 10.5 or whatever, 10-inch, 10.5-inch. Was it the Road Warrior or whatever the fuck they call it? And it's got the flip, and it's fucking great. I mean, I rode with that on my 15 Road Glide for 5 years almost. And then when I took it off to put on my stock one to trade it in, riding it the 30 minutes to Cowboys was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's really
on
that much of a
mine-
difference.
On my Road Glide, I'm running the Clockworks right now. 6'3". Sorry, I just saw this comment come up. 6'4", but 7'2" with helmets. Sorry. Squirrel. But no, so at 6'3" with my shield on there, I'm still getting a little bit of buffeting from the Clockworks. So that's one of the reasons I want to do this shootout, because I happen to have a Memphis Shade shield that's like Uncle Ken's that has the flip. So I want to see how much better that is with my seat, my riding style, whole 9 yards. So, but and then Justin, you have on the Battle Donkey, you have their Pro Touring windshield, right, from Clockworks?
Yes.
So it's a little bit different.
It's their 12-inch. Yeah, so 12-inch. And it's amazing.
Will Harley ever put a motorized windshield on their top end bikes, I wonder? From Armando.
That's less windshields they saw.
Well, you can get different windshields. Like, if you've got the Indian with a motorized windshield, you can get a Memphis Shades
And a Clockworks.
and a Clockworks for it.
Yeah, but I mean, you're a lot less likely to buy a new windshield if you can adjust it than if you can't adjust it.
Yeah, but then they just tack on, $1,000 for it.
We'll see.
I could see them putting that more on like the, say like the trikes at first, or maybe the CVOs to start.
Oh, that would be their top end models.
Yeah, and well, I mean, to the average consumer, our bike is a top end
Sure.
model.
Sure.
But I could see it definitely starting with the CVO and then trickling down after a few years.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope to see them putting like remote locking bags and all of that on the limiteds and the specials before they put the adjustable windshield on there.
Agreed.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is the Challenger's windshield motorized?
I don't know.
Yes.
For some reason, I thought it was.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious. I'd like to get a hold of a Challenger and take that front fairing off, because I'd like to see how all of that's laid out and see how much different it is from the Harley.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the remote locking would be way more useful Uh,
Yeah.
I the motorized windshield is definitely a cool thing, but it's one of those things where I feel like after a while I would find a spot that I like and just leave it there.
I feel like I would use it more if there was more of a difference. Like if you go from like 15-inch to like 6-inch, I feel like that'd be kind of cool. But in reality, you're going from like
It's what
a
4 inches of travel.
yeah, it's like a 13 to a 10 or 13 to a 9. It's just
Yeah,
it's not enough for me to buy into it.
and then even riding the Chieftain and whatnot, having the windshield all the way up, it was it was right in my line of sight. Like the top edge was right in my line of sight. So, I mean, I needed it, so I'd have to lower it a little bit, or I would need a taller windshield. And at that point, you're getting really tall.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want the windshield to go above your sight line.
Yeah, I mean, particularly if it rains, but yeah, no, I absolutely think that the locking bags need to be out before the windshield does. It'll get more use. More people will enjoy that. Walking away, click, click, your whole bike's locked.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we know that they come on the Indians. I believe the Gold Wings have them as well. I mean, right now Harley's the only one with a major touring line that doesn't have the locking bags. I mean, BMW's bagger has it as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We had another question come in. Um, Now remember, guys, this is the one who was talking mad shit about road glides last week. I'm just saying. But when do you think the 138 will be standard?
No, it'll be several years down.
I'm thinking 2024 CVO model.
Oh, it'll absolutely be a CVO model first. No doubt about that. Yeah, I don't see it happening in the next 5 years.
I could see it on the CVOs in 2 years.
I don't know. I mean,
Mark?
they had was it the twin cam 120R or something like that? That everyone thought for sure would go into a CVO and it never did. This could be that engine. Just it will always be the unicorn out there that if you have the money you can get it, but we'll never see it in a production motorcycle. But
Eh,
I
I
don't
mean,
know. A Milwaukee 8's still a new platform, and that's kind of the big dog motor that you could see in it. I mean, right now it's a 117. I could foresee the one was it the 120
124, 121,
124
124.
something like that. Whichever
I mean,
the 120-ish motor is, I could see that one come into the CVOs in the next 2 to 3 years, and then everything else just moves up to the 117. I could see that, but I don't know. Harley does what Harley does best, which is some weird stuff. But I think a lot of people enjoy that new motor.
yeah, I mean, if it rocks and rolls as much as Maxwell says, then I can see why.
I kind of agree with this. Armando says I see them redoing the touring frame before they make the 138 standard.
Yeah,
I think that's why we didn't see that 120R or whatever they called it, is because the Milwaukee 8 was introduced and frames were changing.
Yeah, but that 120R was like 2010, 2011.
And you think they didn't have the M8 already coming down the pipeline at that point?
I would love to say yes.
There's no way they developed an entire motor in 3 or 4 years. There's no way.
I mean, I can't comment on that.
They knew about it for sure.
I'm sure they probably did. Yeah,
Took
but
them what 2.5 years just to adapt the dynos to a softail frame. Like, obviously, starting from scratch on a brand new motor that takes a while.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you think would come next on in a frame redo for the touring?
What do you mean?
Well, you say they
I
would need to
mean,
redo the frame before they would come out with that 138. What type of improvements do you foresee coming down the pipe?
That's not my job. I don't get paid to do that.
I mean, I see them just trying to lighten the frame. Uh, maybe change up the suspension, but I mean, there's no way they're going to go to a single shock like on the soft tails, just because of the weight.
I agree.
I think we'll see the inverted forks before a solo rear shock. But
Yeah.
For them to convert that frame into a solo shock, it's a complete redesign for the subframe.
yeah,
So,
Yeah.
oof. And I don't know. I mean, I would hope to think that Harley's thought about it, but it's kind of like a redundancy thing too. If you're out touring, you're putting out a lot of miles, one of your air shocks goes out because this is the stock bag. If one of them goes out, you still have the other one to kind of keep your bike somewhat up off the fender, right? Or the tire off the fender.
Well, if the bags collapse, they don't hit the fender.
I'm talking about the tire coming into the fender.
Yeah, it doesn't hit.
you'd bottom out the shock before you hit fender.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you've got enough metal components in the shocks to
Okay.
hold everything up. So you'd have a horrible fucking ride.
It would hurt like hell.
Yeah,
But you'd still be
potentially-
up off the fender, so okay.
Yeah. I mean, because they have to think about that. Because I mean, if you're driving down the road and all of a sudden, bam, you blow an airline, and it grabs onto that rear tire, that's something that you could directly sue Harley for.
Yeah. I don't know. I see the inverted fork, sure, but I'm wondering if Harley's going to go more performance oriented or if they're going to stick more with touring oriented.
Well, if any of them are paying attention to the market right now, performance touring is in.
It is. How long is this fad going to be around?
Well, I mean, that's just something that they'll have to try and look at. I mean, it's a roll of the dice, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a crystal ball.
If they do, they're using it the wrong way.
Yeah.
All right. So, looking at the closing argument here.
Do you have one this week?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of.
In y'all's opinion, what is the next fad going to look like?
Did you just write that up?
No. I had to reword my other one because I kind of took it. But what is the next big fad going to look like in y'all's opinion? Is it going to be more of a style fad? Is it going to be more around performance and more around, going back to choppers and just stripping bikes down to go as fast as fuck? I mean, what do y'all think?
I mean, for Harley, I don't.
In general.
I mean, performance has always been the name of the game for the most part. Yeah, you got those people out there that want their bikes to be stylish and fancy paint jobs and wicked custom parts and pieces and all that. But in the bottom of it all, people want performance. They want to be able to get up and go, and they want things, like ABS, traction control, superior braking. Uh, I mean, like, you know, it's been talked about for a while now. Is the what's it called? Adaptive cruise control.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, performance is always the name of the game. It, you know, if you're someone who truly enjoys riding motorcycles and you're not doing it because it's a midlife crisis, or you own 10 motorcycles already, so you don't have to worry about performance in that way. I think performance, or maybe biker wave is right. It could be small wheel baggers.
You break out the 13s. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh god, I'm just picturing a bagger on 13s on a lay frame.
God,
Oof.
could you imagine that? All right. What about you, bud?
So I'm gonna be totally just what I hope it is,
Yeah,
not
that's what I'm looking for.
anything that I think it will happen. But I'd really like to see more modified street to off-road bikes, like taking a Dyna or a Softail and chopping it up and making it more off-road capable to do things like the what's that, the transatlantic and things like that, more ADV style stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, probably won't happen, but if I had to wish a fad, I think that'd be pretty cool. That's one that I would partake in.
So kind of like Mad Max style, the cruiser, and make it into something that end of the world apocalypse happens. Fuck it, we got this.
Yeah.
No matter what,
I
we
didn't
can
want to
take it.
use that term apocalypse because I feel like when you say that, people think of like Walking Dead. And I think that fad has already kind of come and gone as far as the bike builds centered around like Daryl's bike type of thing.
Yeah.
And just focus more on like, hey, this bike can do a lot more than most Harleys can.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. You see, the problem when you get into the like the dual sports is they don't, like we've experienced, they don't do either one really great.
Yeah. But with fads are usually caused by young people. And as we mentioned earlier, they're broke fucks. So having one bike that can at least do both might be beneficial to them.
I mean, sure, people will still buy it. If that's their thing, people will buy it.
I mean, if people will buy pics of your sheets, then
Yeah, and my feet.
feet and sheets.
Feet and sheets. So I am thinking the next big fad is going to be electric, 100% electric. And and here's the thing, Zero's doing such a great job of keeping the market kind of just continuously refreshed. They have a lot of models out there. There's a lot of competition coming out. The Live Wire, outside of the price, is a great bike, right? I mean, people are going to start figuring this shit out, and I'm waiting for the first chopped electric bike. They're going to take two motors, put it on there, figure out a way to stack a couple of batteries in there to make it to where they can go 100 miles on a full charge on the highway, just flying.
I mean, I could see. I see more bikes turning into the electric market, but they'll never get. I don't want to say never, but it's going to be a long ways off before they get into the touring class. You know, I could see them throwing the live wire, or an electric motor in the Sportsters, the Fat Bobs, even up into the Heritage or something like that. But I think I think we're still a ways off from that just because of the mileage issue.
Right, but if you think about it, the big issue on the mileage is battery size. On the touring bike, you have the extra room, you have a beefier frame. You could get away with having extra room or extra battery or more batteries on there, right? I mean, the motor could be the exact same electric motor. It's going to have some degradation in performance because it's pushing or pulling a lot more weight, but I'm just saying, going that route, put it on a Road King.
I think you're wrong.
You think Roadblock's wrong?
Yeah, I think Roadblock's wrong.
I'm glad you didn't think I was wrong.
No.
All right.
I think there's will be a lot of fads before we see a double motored chopped electric bike.
I mean, we'll see we would see an electric chopper before we would see anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something.
And it's going to be that hippie up in Dallas that does it too.
Yes.
He's gonna paint it all blue and green like Captain Planet.
Fucking neon. Yeah.
With tie-dye rims.
Hey, Uncle Ken.
You need to fuck that guy.
We already did a fuck that guy. It's fucking Laidlaw. He's so goddamn fucking boring. Like, I don't see how he has so many goddamn fucking subscribers and views.
Because he sells pictures of his sheets.
Well, then I need to get on that shit and fucking start a YouTube channel for my fucking feet. It'll be Patreon members only. We'll get to view my fucking feet YouTube channel.
Sticking your feet in different types of oil.
Yeah, different motor oil. Used, dirty, 1,000 mile, 5,000 mile. Yeah.
Warm, cold, gritty.
Exactly.
Chunky.
What
smooth.
color fucking, we'll play Guess My Toenail Color.
We'll get you a magnetic toe ring and then pour oil over it so all the little magnetic pieces can stick to it.
Yeah, see how fucked up your bike is? Yeah.
This got weird really quick.
Yeah.
And you took it there too.
We can make this happen.
Dude, it's been a crazy fucking couple days.
I'll need a good photographer, man.
Not it.
You didn't need a good one, so that goes to me.
I'm pretty sure I messed up my camera even more today, so.
Uh-oh. Well, so I'm going to go back up here a little bit in the comments. XL1200 Cycle, he says that Goldwing runs a Pro Link with a monoshock rear. The BMW K1600 GTO runs a Paralevel with a monoshock. And Challenger runs a monoshock. That's all news to me. Didn't know it.
It would still require a drastic redesign.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the one thing he didn't say on any of those was that there's no Harley touring bike that runs on a single right now.
Yeah.
Well, outside of the Heritage, because that's actually a touring bike.
But I think that dumb guy has a good idea that we need someone to make happen is a Grom-sized road glide.
Yep.
A Grom Glide.
Grom glide, yep.
I really wish I knew how to like fiberglass and shit like that because I would totally do some stupid things.
Fiberglass is somewhat easy to work with.
I got enough shit on my plate right now, bud. I'm about to build a fucking bumper and it looks like my goddamn garage exploded. I don't even want to start picking up something new yet.
What are you building the bumper for?
My truck. I built a flagpole holder today. That was fun. Fun fact: a exhaust pipe from a Harley Davidson is exactly 1.5 inches inner diameter, and it fits a flagpole perfectly.
Nice.
All right.
Yep. I chopped up my old Fat Bob exhaust and mounted it to my truck. Pretty proud of myself.
To your receiver?
No, it's like where you drop the tailgate, kind of on the sides. It sits kind of right there on the side. I took the tail light out. That way I could drill into that housing and put a nut in on the back. So it's completely seamless up front.
Huh. And why?
So I can hang a flag on my truck.
For cruising down the highway and showing your fucking goddamn American freedom? Like,
America.
No, it's for when we go to races, because when you go to races, it's just a sea of white RVs so it's really hard to see camp sometimes when you lose your
okay.
bearings.
Okay.
So I bought I'm ordering a bike and bird flag that way, and I got I think it's like a 25-foot extendable flagpole.
Holy fuck.
That way, when we get to races, I can sit there and it's like a telescoping thing. So
Holy shit. Okay.
we'll be able to see where the camp is.
Cool.
And I want to start building my bumper this week, but it's fucking impossible to get metal right now. So I went to 2 different metal shops on Saturday, and the lines to get in were like a dozen trucks deep.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was driving up to Dallas on Saturday, every pick and pull lot on 35 was just ransacked. It was insane. But
Oh shit.
well, gents, I have something cooking. I can't disclose it yet.
It's meth.
Heroin.
Do you cook heroin?
Yeah, on the spoon.
Oh, okay.
That's how you shoot it up.
Oh, okay.
I think we just got demonetized. Thanks for that.
Fuck shit, damn cockballs.
Cocaine balls.
Coronavirus.
But if everything goes to plan, next week's episode will be special. So, thank you everyone for tuning in. Until next week, peace.
Peace.